Hello there, my name is Apocalypse Hero, professional victim in Dead by Daylight, and lately I've found myself watching a lot of tier lists, primarily regarding Dead by Daylight fun rankings. Though I feel the rankings don't consider the reality, which is 90% of Dead by Daylight players are trash. And as a trash solo queuing survivor, I've decided to create my own fun tier list based on that exact perspective. Now let's be honest here, we hate like 70% of the killers, so the structure will be a little different. At the top we have A tier, followed by F tier, then Super F tier, next Mega F tier, and finally Ultra F tier. I will try to keep my deliberation to less than 15 seconds so that this video doesn't last 30 years. Keep in mind that each killer's spot in each tier has no relevance, and their tier is decided by their level of apparent counterplay, otherwise known as the possibility for skill expression, how many frustrating scenarios they can cause and the severity, and finally, how much they take advantage of the lack of communication in solo play, leading to more unfun moments. Starting from the top, we have Demogorgon, which while teleporting undetectability can be tedious, its in-chase mechanics are agreeable, like many we will find in the A tier with powers that are simple in design, clear in intent, and have a meaningful punishment, all of which are hallmarks of great design. Immediately diverging from that theory of design, though, is Freddy, with a power so lackluster that he's just an M1 killer, allowing a chase against him to be a true test of fundamentals. Hillbilly, being hypermobile, helps alleviate downtime since it's really all about the chase. Topped with his power that checks all the boxes is a clear winner, allowing for separate styles of chase where it's more about avoiding slippery edges and clear ways on top of the basics. Next is Huntress, which devolves into layers of invigorating mind gaming, such as the forbidden stand still tech. While I find the increase in base hatchets does reduce the reward of dodging a hatchet, dodging it is a reward in and of itself. Wesker, following the same suit of charging a dash but with the added twist of a second dash, is a simple and enjoyable spin on the formula, if only the horrific moments of netcode didn't result in some rather questionable grabs. Next, Nemesis has a longer range attack with a limited cone that comes with a hefty miss penalty, making dodging it feel satisfying and the zombies are just kinda funny. Finally in A tier is Pyramid Head, who is pretty much just Nemesis, with a tentacle that goes through walls but doesn't have zombies. I don't see many condemns to really be bothered by that either. Starting off with the least egregious of the bad killers is Bubba. While trying to stay clear of dead zones and extended loops as another layer of challenge is interesting, the dynamic of someone getting insta-down due to undetectability or hook camping is never fun. Clown, being slowed and having your vision impaired are two of the most unfun things that can happen in pretty much any game. Even if the effects are mild, this is no exception. Doctor, the scream interrupting action is annoying, and the slow closing in on loops is tedious, but it does prevent bloodlust, which is arguably less fun. Dredge. Nightfall is an accessibility limiter, since it affects people gaming on TVs disproportionately since the glare is blinding. And the dynamic of placing something at a loop, resulting in the survivor just having to run to the next loop, is not fun game design. Trickster, while in some areas just a normal M1 killer, which is fine, the tedium comes when the map is too open or has nothing but low tiles that allow laceration to be built up with little counterplay. Oni, a traditional M1 killer that can power up when fed blood, which a random will definitely give. But, and this may be controversial, I really like trying to dodge a charging Oni. It's very fun to me, but the possibility of unfun snowballing results in a lower tier. Pinhead, trying to mind game the possessed chain is good, but the variability on whether the follow-up chains actually do anything is not. Now for the Super F tier, starting with Dead Slinger. The lack of consistency on what things you can actually stick to is annoying, resulting in the time-consuming dragging process to be unenjoyable. The Unknown. The ability to hit through walls is lame, and the fact the killer never actually has to use the core bouncing mechanic to get the ball to reach you is stupid, and I'd say 90% of unknowns I go against just camp hooks with decoy teleportation. Xenomorph. The turrets don't do anything, and being able to fish with the tail should be removed. Pig. While the standard M1 chases are fun, the dynamic of getting a trap on your head and having to roam around trying to get it off aren't, and the increased stealth makes solo queue that much worse. Legion, a fundamental skill check. While it does devolve into an M1 killer, having to rely on allies to stay split up and not needlessly healing is a nightmare. Trapper, Games typically devolve into constant trap icons on the left-hand side of the screen, or the killer does nothing all game, both of which suck. Myers. This high because it's frickin' Mikey Myers, dude, he's just so cool! But his in-game adaptation does leave a lot to be desired, because someone is gonna feed him, and getting run on by someone with no terror radius into a tombstone or an insta-down are not fun personally or to watch happen. Increasing the salt as we make it to Mega F tier with the Spirit. 90% of interactions are done via visual stimulus or speed-based interactions, both of which this killer completely disregards. Who doesn't love constant 50-50s and the directional audio doesn't do anything for the few of us without surround sound? Ghostface. Stealth killers are a nightmare in solo queue, since you can't effectively warn anyone and they usually get free hits, toppled with the unreliable reveal mechanics, and you got a recipe for success. The Twins. Pretty much the entirety of Victor is one big L. Being slugged isn't fun, and the current planned update is a nightmare. Wraith. Super fast, super stealthy. Half of them just hit and run, and that's lame. Plague. Having half the things you would normally bring into a match, such as heal perks and items, being invalidated on character loadup is dumb. Also, the aura reading add-on is stupid. Artist. Placing a thing at a loop, forcing the survivors to run to the next one is bad design, and getting peppered by crows from across the map is tedious at best. Singularity. Why can it fire its orbs like a chain gun without any cooldown? Why do they keep designing area denial killers lately? And finally onto the Ultra F tier, starting with Blight. There is a reason there are rules in competitive play. Blight with 4 slowdown is one of those reasons. Sadako. Hit and run playstyles aren't really fun to go against, and on maps like the school, you can get condemned in like 45 seconds. Night. Once again with the place a thing in a loop and the survivor has to run, but this time the thing follows you to the next loop. Great. Chucky. Having the power to invalidate a pallet every 20 seconds in a game revolving around pallets is stupid. Hag. Sea Trapper but extrapolated to be even more snowbally. Nurse. Same as Blight with the addition of bypassing pretty much the entirety of the game's mechanics. And finally the Skull Merchant. No explanation needed. So, given all that, my Dead by Daylight wish list consists of 2 things. First, fix Skull Merchant so she's not ultra cancer. And second, let me play her in third person.